All right, this is a 2003 Volkswagen Jetta TDI. It's showing up code low boost. Most people would go after the boost solenoid, but in this case, I know it's not the boost solenoid. And all this on top here, we had a real bad storm and went through a puddle of mud, water. So that's what's on top of the engine. But on the 2.5 liter Volkswagens, it shows up as I think it's an air pump, something with the air pump. You can go ahead. The air pump will be located down in this area here up in front. It probably won't be the air pump. It's still going to be the same problem like this. It's the transmission valve body. This car here has 211 to 221,000. Yeah, 231,000. Okay, it's 230,000 on this car here. And the valve body will be inside the transmission at the bottom, like you're changing your filter. But you're going to have to take out the battery case, air filter housing, and the intake hose. The oil cooler will have to be removed, and your starter. The reason for the starter and the oil cooler being removed, the harness comes up over here. It runs behind or under the oil cooler and runs behind the starter. And it has on a big connector. The connector is about that size, like the size of a quarter. So it can't really go on. You have to remove these parts, put them on, and that'll be it. It's not a hard job. It's probably an hour, hour and a half. But I'll go ahead and start taking off parts now. Okay, everything is out. Well, the two big pieces are out. Took them out in one piece. This one piece, and that, and everything there was number 10 millimeter so far. And you have to just take off the band back here to pull off the hose. Disconnect the connector on that and the hose for it. Now I'll go down and get the cooler. Well, I should take the cooler out last. That way it makes a mess. I'm not under it. I'll go down now, take off the cover at the bottom, then come back up, take out the starter, take out the cooler, and that's it. And at the bottom, it's just, I think they're number 10 bolts up there. Oh yeah, 4 number 10s. 4 number 10s, and that's it. We'll be back. All right, this is what the valve body comes with. This is the harness that comes with it. And this is the valve body right there. Let me cut it open. I always check the resistance on the solenoids, because I've already gotten them where they were bad. One was bad, and one is bad. You can get different results. Sometimes it's going to shift into get up to 4th gear and won't shift anymore, and sometimes it will shift all the way to 5th gear, and you'll be driving, cruising along, and then it just bumps back out, drops into 4th gear, and it'll do that just when it gets warmed up, drop into 4th. And sometimes you just turn the car off, turn it back on, and drives fine, and it can drop out and stay out for weeks, and then all of a sudden just start catching 5th gear again with no problem. So that's how it comes. And the harness you have to really inspect the harness. It's basically a one-time use. I know of guys that can take it out without damaging it, but it's like a ribbon, and the wires are inside the ribbon. So be careful with it. Try not to abuse it. Keep it clear. And that is the connector I was talking about, fitting through onto the behind the starter and onto the oil cooler. When I say oil cooler, it's the transmission oil cooler. All right, so I'll get back to this. All right, I checked from this one here going across. These are averaging at 55 ohms. And these, the darker ones, are averaging right at 5 ohms if you round it off. But these are the exact numbers right there. That's going from left to right. It's 54.3 and 4.2, but it average out there, and then these right there. So I'll go back. Everything checked out good, so I'm going back and start taking down. All right, I went around it a different way. I still had to take out the bolt down in there to get the harness out. I removed the oil cooler sitting on the side. That's where it connects into these two holes there, and the oil just circulates through it. I pulled the wire out and went on around the starter. I went around the starter and pulled it down. It was a little harder, but I didn't have to remove the starter. Then that's the valve body with the harness on it. And that's where it goes back up. Now it takes all these bolts, take it, and it's a torque, might be 27. So go ahead and clean it up. Now the most difficult part will be this right here. And what I usually do with it, put everything back together, have the everything in, and I can put the drive it into drive 1. Unbolt that screw right here, and I can take it out and put it in real easy. You could slip it in like this too, but sometimes it might not go in, and then you'll have a problem of not shifting. So you just do it afterwards, but you could take your chances and take everything out here. Okay, and there's one number 10 bolt holding the harness up in that spot right up there. Everything else was a torque 27, and the number 10 was to just take off the cover. And there are other covers that needs to come off down here, but it's just like you changing your oil or anything else that you'd be doing. So, and the top is a 13 to take the harness loose. Let me see if I can get this thing on video so people will know how to put this back in. I took the little piece out. That's it right here. That's the only screw that holds it. You hook this in the hole. It's got a hole right up on top. Let me see. Okay, I can't use the camera to see, and the shadows are blocking me. Okay, it's in. Push everything in the little pocket. Okay, push it all in, and then it's all in now. So this is it. Just put this back on the hole over here. Right there. and screw this back in, and that is it. You just have to remember to keep the piston all the way in. And that's basically it. Now I'm just gonna put it back in. It's better if you have it in like reverse or neutral or any other gear. You have more room to work it. All right. Okay, everybody does this a little bit different. I got everything back together. I got the little plug out. I put my transmission fluid in here and just pump it, and it goes down into the transmission. I took out about 3.5 or 3.5, 4, yeah, 3.5 quarts I took out. This is 4 quarts right here. So putting it back in, always remember, make sure your vehicle will take what you're putting in. Almost every transmission will work in the vehicle, but I always suggest use something that your vehicle recommend. If it's Volkswagen, Audi, Toyota, Honda, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, whatever it is, use what it says to use in it, because you get more trouble if you don't. In the engine, I use the Castrol European blend. It's a 040 weight. I've been putting that in this car every 10,000 miles. Change the oil every 10,000 miles. And I have never had a problem with this motor right here. This engine here will probably go on forever because it doesn't burn any oil. In between oil changes, 10,000 miles, I put in, you should put in 4.8 quarts. I put in 5 quarts. And right at the end of 10,000 miles, my oil is exactly on the line, the max line. And I've always done that to this vehicle. It's been 230,000 miles with no issues. So I'm just going to put this back in, crank the car up, run it through the gears, and then take it for a spin, and that should be it. But thanks for watching. Okay, this is the mileage on it. I don't ever reset the check engine light. I let it go away its own self. But that's the mileage on this car right here. And when the check engine light goes away, then I know what I did was right. If I reset it myself, I'm not sure. It can come on back, and then I'll be somewhere else that I can't really work on it. So that's it. But see you next time. Oh, and the other thing is, run it through the gears. See how it kicks back? That's in reverse. It pulls forward. Have it there for a little while. Go to the next one. I run it through while it's getting the oil into the transmission. But that's what I do for my poor little work car. Alright, and I had to do it real quick because I have to go work in the morning. So I just knocked it out real quick. But thanks for watching.